Wow, Duolingo down massively after earnings and a hot inflation report. Where can we expect the stock to go? Well, we did previously draw this particular trend line, which we said would probably be good for a bounce when the stock did get down there. And would you look at that? We're actually bouncing right now from that level, presumably. In pre-market, we did go way below it. You had a minus 26% move for the downside in the pre-market, but we've managed to recover, bounce a bit from those levels. So I kind of imagine this could be a decent long opportunity, at least for a bit of a recovery bounce now that the technicals are massively oversold. You could imagine we'll at least get up to probably $105 or so if we are bouncing from this level. Of course, there remains the risk of further downside. I'm not sure this level will hold inevitably. It may even break down if the pre-market price action was anything to go off of, in which case I would be targeting ideally a double low around the $60 level, the previous low that Duolingo had. That would be a nice place to get a bounce from, I believe. Of course, you may have a little bit of a bounce from these levels as well, around $65. There's a lot of support in that area, so I would imagine price could get down there at some point, but then reverse from there. If we take a look at the momentum indicator, it's still very much brutal to the downside, so I'm personally not going to be buying the stock until I see the momentum flip. I think if you are in the stock, it might not be the worst idea to continue holding, because eventually you're probably going to get a turnaround, and you may even get a bit of a recovery bounce here, but I don't think I'm personally going to be buying the stock at these levels. I think there is the potential for more downside. Till I see the momentum shift in a positive way, then I'm going to stay out of these software names. I think they'll have their time in the future. Things like Adobe, Duolingo, and all sorts of other software names that have been sold off massively. I think they will be going up quite a lot in the future, but for now, the momentum is very bearish, so I'm going to stay out of it. I think you could get, as I said, a bounce here potentially, and you've got targets around $260 still on Duolingo to fill this gap. That's something we could look for at some point in the future, but we're definitely trading around this trend line. Let's see if it breaks down further from here and heads all the way down to $60, or if we get a bit of a recovery bounce. Perhaps we'll chop around here for a little bit and then decide on a direction. Of course, going to depend on what the market in general is doing as well, but that's the outlook for the stock. Hope these levels are helpful in some way for you, and let's see if this particular trend line that I drew previously will come into play and whether we can get a recovery from this particular point. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe as always for more daily chart analysis, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.